I hope you all like flowcharts. I'm a geeky guy, as he said, but I only have 2 minutes to present this. So here's our 6-step process for vetting potential grantees. And the first step is we identify from that list that Doug mentioned of well over 325 nonprofits in the Portland area, those that might be able to meet our criteria for a grant. How do we decide on that? Gary's going to talk about that in a minute, but the second step is just go to their website. You can see from their website right away if they're not going to qualify. If they might qualify, then we put them on a list. We're looking for 4 to 8 during the granting season. We then invite them to submit an application. So the 4 to 8, I think this year did we do 8? I can't remember. Anyway, we contact the executive director and ask him or her to provide an application. And by the way, we think that's a distinctive of HHF. We actually pursue our grantees. We don't wait for them to come to us. Some do come to us, but I think most of our grantees over the years have been pursued by us. Then the next step is the important step, which is evaluate their application. So what we're looking for in that application is some pretty important data. We're looking for impact data. We want to see how are they doing getting folks off the street. Are they staying off the street? Again, Gary's going to talk about that. I shouldn't steal your thunder, should I? No. Okay. So that takes a while. That can take weeks. There's a back and forth typically with the person we're in touch with, clarifying our questions. We're clarifying their answers. And finally, when we're done with that and we're happy with what we see, we do an on-site evaluation. And then we bring other members of the board in and visit the site, meet the staff, hear about their programs. We sometimes even meet the clients. It's great. And if we're happy with that, then generally it's over. We have a board meeting though and discuss what we found in the application and the evaluation. And it's usually a no-brainer to award them a grant. So, and let me just say, I am super honored to be involved in this operation. It's fantastic work. I love it. And you don't need a PhD in statistics. Okay. Gary.
Perfect. So as, you can give Don a big round of applause. That's fine. Okay, so as Don mentioned, Gary, would you be willing to tell us a little bit more about the application process and specifically that very important on-site evaluation?
Happy to do that. Thanks, Ian. Yes, we have 5 questions, core questions that we have on our application. Don mentioned that in the flow chart. The first has to do with the homeless, whether we're focused on the chronic homeless, those that have been on the street for a long period of time, as opposed to the housing insecure that Doug has mentioned to you. So that's the first question. The next 3 questions are specific to the effectiveness of the organization in getting folks long-term off the street. The first is the number of people they attempted to help in the year that we're focused on, and how many actually completed and graduated from the program in that year. That's kind of the core effectiveness. And then how many are still effective, still off the street after a year. So we asked them from the previous year, what was the success ratio, continued success ratio of those that were successful in the previous iteration. Then the last question has to do with more of the financial accountability. What is the average cost of one person stabilized and housed? After we've addressed these in the application, then we move to the on-site. And here we want to basically validate what's been discussed in the application. But more than that, we want to just go experience how they do this for ourselves. We want to be in their organization. And there are 3 basic areas that we focus on. The first is the facilities. Are the facilities adequate and going to be helpful for those that are in their process? The second area is the programs. And the key is, do they have individualized case management and assessments to really understand what the root cause is that is causing the homelessness. This is very important. Unless you really can, and each client has their own specific story, okay? And then do they adapt their program to help that individual be successful through the program. And the last category is really important, and I call it heart. As we interact with the administrators and the employees and even the clients, do we get a sense that they have this really crucial love for the homeless that not only sustains them in their work, but also comes through to the homeless and basically as they communicate with the homeless, do they trigger that thing that's so necessary for the homeless to be successful, and that is hope. This idea, this sense that they can be successful through the program. So after we've completed this, then our team deliberates on what we've heard and then makes a funding decision, a recommendation to the board for consideration.
Thank you, Gary. Really appreciate it. All right, so Darren, people may be wondering, this all sounds really wonderful. It actually sounds like quite an involved process. So after you have spent all of that time and effort to do these evaluations, do you then just give organizations money one time? Is there an ongoing award, or how does that work?
Lower mic for us shorter people. So tonight, what you're going to hear about is our Champions Fund, and that is designed as an initial award for organizations that we've identified and vetted, as Gary and Don just discussed. So we have awarded grants to those organizations to the tune of 20 to date, and since 2019, as discussed. One of the things we've recognized as we've matured as an organization is that we don't want to just provide a one-time grant. That to be really successful in tackling homelessness will be more effective if we can provide ongoing funding. So 2 years ago, we implemented and introduced the Evergreen Fund. And the idea here was, hey, if we can find organizations that we've funded once and we see that they're growing in their effectiveness and their ability to grow their impact, then those are ones that we want to fund. This does two things if we can provide annual funding. First of all, it helps us better partner with these organizations and help grow their effectiveness. And second, it helps the organizations be able to plan more effectively because they know they've got an ongoing source of funding versus just a one-time sort of thing. So this year we funded 3 of our past Champions Fund awardees, and to date we've raised over $800,000 towards helping the homeless. So very excited about that, and very excited to have you here and share that with you. So thanks.